Apparently the game yeeting me through the ice and making me overcome hypothermia was its way of making me face the entire FMBR gauntlet at once, because the rest was pretty easy. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of the Long Dark in our Against All Odds series, where I have just arrived. And we haven't done too much searching yet, so let's do that while avoiding the wires that we are going to do our very best not to step on. Let's also move things. It's nice to be able to just do that, as opposed to breaking everything down every single time. Oh wow, that's a jerry can. Nice. Let's go ahead and grab that. Now I don't feel badly at all. Hello? I don't feel badly at all about what I'm doing with my lantern fuel right now. So... oh. Okay. Dead body. Some wood. We are going to fully search up this place, get some rest, and then head up to the lodge. So we're going to be in Broken Railroad for a bit. This is, as I've been saying, it's a zone that is like deceptively loot dense. This is something that you can, it's a zone that you can really benefit from fully exploring. So we're going to do that. I am going to avoid that wire though, because it's kind of scary. I really, really don't want to die by electric shock right now. So we're just going to be over here. Oh, more lantern fuel. Nice. I just saw her breath drift up, like, in front of her face, and you just have to think, what if that's not breath? What if that's, like, the soles of your shoes, like, burning because you're standing on a live wire? That's a fun thought. I'm kidding. It's breath, but... okay. Not much going on over here. Got a fresh pry bar, which we might be taking advantage of momentarily. I will go ahead and grab these replacement fuses, but I'll probably also be doing some inventory management and dropping those. Really just looting for the sake of looting at the moment. Alright, we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Anything else over here? Well, there's planks, yes, but nothing else to be had. Let's step up onto the platform. Hey, look, more spray paint that I'm not going to pick up. The game's trying so hard. And getting so far. But in the end, Long Dark, I will not use spray paint except when hello. Okay. Is there a ghost in the maintenance shed? Because we've had the floating fuse, and now we have a floating painting, which is hilarious. I'm going to go ahead and just take this. So the bulletin board can be moved, clipboard can be moved. It's really cool how much can in fact be moved around in here. I like it. No, I'm not touching the freaking spray paint. Stop asking. What I will do though, these are the boxes that I put down from the top level. So I doubt that I need to do anything more with those. Being very, very careful around those wires while still wanting to check around the bin. Okay. Notice that there's terrain blending even on this fire barrel, which is kind of cool. Not sure how I feel about the streaked appearance there. That's a little bit different from what we've seen before and doesn't necessarily make sense, but hey, maybe it does, and I just don't realize why. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just don't know why the snow would be streaked like that. Maybe I shouldn't ask. Maybe some questions
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Are best left unasked. Alright, so we have some rope here. That could come in handy. Some more spray paint. That's probably not going to come in handy. Okay. Anything in here? The lantern's actually lasting us a good while, which I do appreciate. TV still running. Tell you what, let's move this over there. Move this right here. Will that not stack? No, apparently not. Can't stack pallets. If I move this there, it blocks the path. Of course it does. So we're going to just put that pallet down on top of that. Just wanted to see what would happen if I moved both of those. Okay. Let's check inside our locker here. Grab some fresh water. Been a while since we've been able to do that. Well, not really that long. We really didn't leave Milton that long ago. It's nice to be finally headed out this direction. I think one of the main reasons this idea has been so appealing, even though we don't have the technical backpack yet, is that, I mean, let's be real. Against All Odds is in its 8th season. As the series currently stands, they tend to be kind of straightforward explorations of the entire game world. I have given some thought, not a lot of thought, mind you, so I don't really have anything clearly articulated to share, but I've given some thought to what future seasons of Against All Odds look like, especially given that the development on The Long Dark is looking to conclude as Black Frost development ramps up. And I've thought about, are there other ways to present Against All Odds? I mean, it might just be moving to Black Frost. That's one obvious possibility. But in terms of continuing to play our favorite game here, do we necessarily need to continue treating the series in the exact same way? Or can we specialize it somehow? Can we make it new and different in fun and interesting ways? So again, just thinking about it, but I think that's one of the reasons that going out to the far territory now is appealing to me, and maybe to some of you, because it is different. Because it's a less safe choice. And let's face it, if I only played to what was safe all the time, the series just wouldn't be as much fun for anybody. And that includes me. So it's good to be heading out to the far territory. Right, there's some crackers.
Probably useful.
A raw, gamey lake whitefish, which I might cook momentarily. Wood matches. Okay, cup of herbal tea. Let's turn the radio on. Do thin wool sweater. I don't think any of the clothes that I picked up are actually going to be in any way needed. Now, one thing I may do while we have this aurora, hold on, we're going to check this file cabinet, but then I want to step back outside because I want to see if we hear the trader. Anything else here? No. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Alright. Yeah, nothing underneath the lockers. I did check the trash can, I believe. Oh, no, I didn't. Walked right by it. Okay, I'm going to do my inventory management out there. Okay. If I step out this direction... Where's the safest spot to drop? Yeah, here we go. Perfect. Just want to be careful of that wire right there. Slight problem. Let's go ahead and put this away.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Trader unavailable. Okay, so we're going to hang out right here for a bit. Let's actually check temperature. Yeah, we're fine. We are fine. I'm going to go ahead and duck as well, just for safety's sake. Speaking of playing it safe. Alright, we do have some reading to do, and I may do some of that before too much longer, but first, let's go ahead and harvest this shirt. Really hoping we hear something here. We haven't heard the trader at all during this series, which makes me sad. Okay, so it really seems like... Yeah, I can go ahead and put the better of the two thin wool sweaters on, but there's no point in having the second thin wool sweater, so I'll go ahead and harvest this. That's 10 minutes. Right there. I am going to keep the earmuffs with me. I will, because you don't find that many of them. I think they're worth keeping around. It's not really that encumbering, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. I do kind of want to do some repair, but first let's go ahead and enjoy some of the food that we've grabbed. Okay, crackers are going to definitely make me a little thirsty. Actually, wait. Drink that tea first. That'll help me recover some health. Plus, it'll add some caloric value. No, I never miss an opportunity to say that. Of course not. Okay, so we're kind of tired. But again, I do want to maybe get some reading done. But I don't want to miss the trader either. So hold on, let me go ahead and refuel the lantern. That is a very, very full jerry can, which I love. We've got a second hacksaw here. I think... Okay, yeah. The stuff that I'm going to drop inside. I don't want to leave stuff out here, because I very rarely leave stuff out here, and I feel like that's just a absent-minded mistake waiting to happen. So we're going to drop that book, because I don't need it. Now, that one has not been read at all. This one I can read over 4 hours. Yeah, let's go ahead and do... We're going to do 1 hour at a time. Because what I'm hoping is that between one of these hours... Oh. Just kidding. The aurora just went away. Well, now there's no reason to stay out here. And I also can't... Did I at least get the 1 hour of reading done? I did. Okay. That was pretty nice of the game to let me have that. It didn't have to. It could have just taken it from me, and it didn't. So appreciate that, game. Very nice of you. Double check, make sure I didn't leave anything sitting in an obvious space. Yep, let's just go back inside. Unfortunately, I can't do any more reading.
Walk with this much gear.
We can do more once I think what I'm probably going to do, I'm hoping to find a fair amount of food up at the cabin. I'm going to grab those wires while I can. Up at the hunting lodge. And that'll be one very obvious opportunity. Okay. I don't need to drink any water right now, but I will anyway. Should be left with a little bit less than 0.2 gallons. Yep. That's how you know you've played this game so much. You have a certain amount of thirst, and you know like what it's probably going to drop to. Okay, let's go ahead and sleep. We will probably have all of our... Really? The aurora came back for a second right at the end there. That's just one of the things that can happen on these settings with the more frequent aurora, is you have aurora that can come and go over the course of a night. And that can happen in, non-frequent aurora too. It's just less likely. Nice. So let's eat this granola bar. I do kind of want to do a little bit more reading while I'm here. I think what I can do, since I already have what I need from a tools perspective, I've got some stuff that I can burn. Mainly I've got some coal. So what I'm going to do is get this fire going. I don't believe I have... No, I definitely don't have a heavy hammer. I could have brought one with me, because there was one not far away. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop off some of the heavy stuff in the room first. But then we're going to use the forge. Alright, that fish is in there, and I want to grab that too. I need to cook it before long, but okay, let's sort by weight. The other weight, there we go. We're going to keep all that stuff there. Keep all that stuff there. Now you can go away. Well, actually, if we harvested this stuff, yeah, if we harvested it, that could be even more useful. So I'll bear that in mind. All right, I can put a whetstone away. Sewing kits are not as, we don't have as many as I would like to have. Yeah, I think I want to harvest that stuff. But first, let's get a fire going. We have a little bit of a stink at the moment because of the fish. We're going to cook that ASAP. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and take the charcoal. Start the fire. Not going to worry about accelerant. Might waste a match, but we've used accelerant a good bit since I brought the series back. We can take it easy.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
All right, I'm just going to literally pile a lot of this onto the fire. We're going to place the cooking skillet down. I'm going to cook this. It's going to take 23 minutes. And while that's cooking, let's see, how long would you take to harvest? An hour. I had a feeling it would be an hour. How long would you take to harvest? 30 minutes. That I can do. So we're going to harvest the... I hope that was the lesser condition one. It was. Good. Now, ironically, the forge is actually not hot enough. So I can't actually do any forging here. I thought I might be able to get away with that, but no. All right, we're going to eat the cooked lake whitefish. Now, if we put this down, we can melt some snow for some additional water. And while we're doing that, we can read for an hour at a time. Okay, that's 1 hour. It's going to take 34 minutes, but it will still be there when I'm done. Okay, let's drink that. We'll be left with some in reserve, and I will go ahead, since we have time on the fire, and do that again. We're going to read this, and then we're going to toss it on the fire. That, I believe, is going to take our rifle skill up to 3. Perfect. Let's double check, actually, because I've had some odd misses. It reminds me. I've had some proud and not so proud moments in Against All Odds, and I'll just be fully open for a moment here. There are some moments in early Season 1, Season 2, with the old rifle sights, which, again, I think the way that Barb's rifle sights are kind of designed, they remind me of the old rifle, and so I shoot in a way similarly to how I tried to shoot with that rifle, and I miss because the mechanics are different now. But then again, I missed with that rifle, too, a good bit in Season 1, Season 2, and I remember there being one moment out on the lake in Season 1 or 2, where I'm trying to hit either a wolf or a deer and really struggling to do so. And what was I looking at? Skills, that's right. Really struggling to do so. And it was maddening. Accuracy range increased by 20%, critical hit chance increased by 15%, 3 condition per repair action. So I was not quiet. We're going to go ahead and clean this. Just on general principle, we're going to unload it first. It doesn't matter. It's just it's literally just for the sake of the immersion. You don't have to clean the rifle. Or you don't have to unload the rifle before you clean it. Okay, let's go ahead and drink that potable water. We're going to keep going.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Because we have time on this fire. We're going to take advantage. Now, let me go ahead and drop the Frontier Shooting Guide that I have not read, it would have given me a warning, but I was just being careful. And now what else can I read? If I were to start reading Carcass Harvesting, that would at least put a dent in that book. Revolver, Firearm. Reading both of those would up my skill there. Oh, Survive the Outdoors. That research has been completed. Okay, well in that case, let's do that. How long have I been lugging that around? Ooh. So I've read 3 hours of this one. That's good to know. So let's go ahead and read 1 more hour. Ironically, I want to make sure I'm checking my food. I'm good. I still have plenty, actually. Alright, so I think I can get away with reading an hour here. It's going to be close. Yep, 16 minutes till boiled dry. Let's go ahead and drink that. And the fire is not going to last too much longer now. Yep, hour 40 minutes. Let's do one
carry this load for much
more. We're going to finish this cooking book, which will help push us towards Cooking 5. I'm pretty glad to already have Cooking 5 so close. All right, non-potable water. Let's see. Gunsmithing, maybe? Probably a good idea to go ahead and research gunsmithing. Nope. Did I lose the fire? I did. But thankfully the water is done. So we're going to drink that. We'll have plenty left. It is plenty dark. We're going to take the cooking pot, light the storm lantern. Well, made great use of that. Still have some more reading to do. What I was going to say earlier, I don't think I finished my thought, but I'm pretty confident that what we're going to find is a fair amount of food up at the hunting lodge. Oh my god, so much water. We're going to drop most of that. So what I'm thinking is I can go up there and do the same thing that I just did for a bit. All right, so this jerry can I'm going to keep because that is soon to be a non-factor if I just refuel my lantern one more time. So let's go ahead and relight it just for the sake of finding the bed. Now what I'm really hoping for here is if I go to sleep until the middle of the night or so, that an aurora will come back and I can read while waiting for the trader again, but it looks like that's not going to happen. All right. I don't have a ton of food. Just pointing that out. I'm going to need to be... I might need to kill a deer or a wolf just to stay well fed while I'm up here. Because there's no reason to exhaust all of my spare supplies. I have this can of sardines. I've got a carrot. At this point, the carrot's a bit of a meme, isn't it? Because I think I just have a tendency to keep the carrot around on principle in case I'm ever able to cook something a little bit more fancy for myself, and yet I never do. And so I just have the carrot at all times. I can't explain it. It's just... Well, actually, I can't explain it. I just did. That's the explanation, and I'm sticking to it. By the way, if you have any thoughts about what I was talking about earlier in terms of how we could approach future Against All Odds seasons, especially those that were not in Black Frost, share in the comments, by all means. I would love to have a discussion about that. We could talk about it in the Discord as well. Links to join the Discord are in the video description and the top comment of every video, in fact, if you're not a part of the community Discord already. once you join the community Discord, it'll be a lot clearer why we do stream nights the way that we do. Because we had one of our champions, longtime champions and longtime fans of The Long Dark, I'll be the one, came in and asked, hey, why don't you stream Long Dark when you do streams on the channel? It's just because we do Let's Plays in the Emergent stuff, and we do things a little bit differently when it comes to the live stream content. And it's been going great so far. I wanted to create a new type of space in the channel's content, and I appreciate those of you who have shown up and helped make it happen, because I literally couldn't do it without you. Okay, let's pass the time for like 2 more hours, and then I want to, before the end of this episode, I want to try and get up to the lodge, if the weather is permitting. Ooh, that weather sounds very permitting. Do you hear the wind die down right there? That was nice. All right, we're going to hold off on eating anymore. I think I do want to sleep for a couple hours just to let some light into the room. Okay, that. All right, that when I said light, game. When I said light, what I meant was the ability to generally see. This is not that. Well, hang on. Let me drink from the water that I'm going to drop first. Okay, we're going to keep very little of the water that we're lugging around. Wow, that is a lot of cattail heads. Hold on. There we go. That's a little bit better. Still lugging around a lot of books. All right, we have a lot of prepared reishi mushrooms as well. We'll need to make some tea for that. I could go ahead and repair. Oh, that's right. I never harvested the other hacksaw. Let's do that. It was going to take too long. That was the problem. But this is actually kind of perfect because this is a great way to pass an hour. And I can drop the metal that I'm carrying as well. Perfect. Yeah, okay, that works out. Also, we have some burdock root that I grabbed a while back. Let's go ahead and craft that, prepare that, rather. Okay. The movement speed, look at it. It's a beautiful thing. That is why we dropped all that stuff. So, we're just going to come over here and set all the scrap metal down. We're also going to drop off this dusting sulfur because we just don't need it at the moment. I wish it were possible to make a pile of scrap metal. So if you drop, like, say, 5 scrap metal, it becomes like a pile, and you can, like, imagine being able to just grab it and lift it all at once and put it in a spot. And it would have a graphic that looked like a pile. That way, that would actually be kind of cool for a lot of the stuff that can stack. The ability to make a pile. Ooh, I might suggest that. Like, it would just be a separate, item that would drop, similarly to, like, putting a fire down, but you wouldn't put it down like that necessarily. Just when you drop things at certain quantities, it creates a pile, And then maybe the pile breaks apart when you drop below a certain quantity and it just leaves a certain number of objects on the floor. But when there's a lot, you can have a bunch in one place. Ooh, that would be good. I'm sure someone's thought of that before. I'm sure it's been discussed before. But that would be such a great addition to this game. All right, we're just going to get a little bit more daylight. Honestly, it was probably late enough in the morning. Okay. I'm going to go out the front door here. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me grab... Yeah, see, even the water bottles, imagine... And, I mean, to an extent, water bottles do it already, because, you get bigger bottles. See? You get bigger bottles when you drop larger quantities. So it's already in the game to an extent. This is what I'm talking about. Just when you drop things in larger quantities, have a larger version of it that you can pick up and drag around. I think that'd be neat. All right, thankfully, we are carrying almost 98 pounds of stuff. but it doesn't feel like it because the moosehide satchel is doing its job. Let me double check in here. Okay, we're gonna go out the front door.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Because I'm not sure where the wolves are. This is going to be really interesting. There weren't any wolves on the way in here. I don't know what that means. It might just mean that we got lucky, and they're right here, where they've always been. We also still need to check the trucks. All right, I'm going to be quiet for a second so I can listen. Nothing so far. I don't even hear any footsteps, to be honest. And I don't hear any howls either. Which is so interesting. Yeah, I hear nothing. I've got the game turned up reasonably loud. I know it gets quieter when I talk, but... There's a howl. That's up there. Interesting. So we ran into the wolf, the one that charged last episode. That was an interesting moment. I don't even see any up the road. So maybe the wolves, at least at the moment, are not really here. I'm gonna just walk freely. If I need to run, I'll run. Yeah, I don't think there are any wolves here. That's wild. Okay. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. But that just means there could be more wolves or bears. Out another direction, so I'll be mindful of that. Okay, let's... hang on. I'm going to take it wide here. Did I just see a wolf, or is that a stump? I think that was a stump, and the way it was moving was because of my sideways movement. Yeah, that was a stump. Right there. I don't hear any footsteps. If there was a wolf close, I think I would. But I'm still going to play it safe. Speaking of playing it safe. This is why a lot of players, when you watch people who stream The Long Dark, including Athenon, and Thomasina too, I think, but definitely Athenon. I don't want to speak for Thomasina. I haven't watched her content recently. She's been busy, but she's been around. This is why those players will run with the grass turned off. Because in moments where you really need to be able to see through it, find things hidden on the ground, see wolves that might be skulking toward you, the grass can present a real challenge. But I like it for that exact reason. I hear no wolves. I'm standing up. If there's a wolf here, we're going to find out the hard way. That howl that I just heard came from the same direction. There was a second howl just now. I didn't call it out, but there was one a moment ago. And it came from the same direction as the first. So I'm inclined to think it's the same wolf. Okay. I'm going to use this point up here as a perch to look out of the lake. Oh, we got some snow starting to fall. I need to get inside soon, too, because we did manage to recover all of our condition while we were asleep, which is nice.
Making my head feel thick.
I know, but here's the other thing. There are cattails down there, and if I can get to the lake without worrying about predators, I'm going to pick me some cattails, even if I'm cold. I don't care. Okay, I don't see a bear. I don't hear bear crows. I don't see a wolf. I don't hear wolf crows. They're not wolf crows, that's a lie. But you know what I mean. there's nothing. There's no indication of any predators. The downside is, if I get jumped right now, if there is a predator that I'm just not hearing, then it's going to be cold, and I'm not going to have as clear of a shot.
Wait. I'm so cold.
I hear a wolf.
Warming up a bit.
And it sounds like the wolf is running, which means if something spooked a wolf this direction, I might have some company in a bit. Which begs the question also, what spooked the wolf? A bear, most likely. And I think it came from behind me. So I'll be watching for movement. Oh, I heard it again. You hear that? Something is continually spooking this wolf. Okay, now I hear howls in the distance. Straight ahead. It's hard to tell if there's a wolf actually on the lake with me here, but I think behind me is clear. Oh, I think I just heard a hint of a bear crow, which would make sense. I might go to the hunting blind. I want to try to grab all these cattails while I'm right here. I don't know if I want to go any further this way, though. Any more cattails on this kind of side of it? Yep, I see some. Risking it a little bit here. Okay. I'm going to walk straight back this way, scanning for wolves. Oh, there's the bear. Okay, I'm going to have to be fast, but I can do this. That is what was scaring the wolves. Oh, we've got time. Oh, good, he's turning. Perfect timing. Thank you, Mr. Bear. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for turning right then. It was well timed. Okay. A couple more cattails. I'm going to grab these. Oh, not just a couple. Tres más. There we go. Beautiful. Punta's blind. Let's sit up here. Check the corpse. Nothing. Check the backpack. Revolver. A single revolver cartridge. You, sir. I mean, let's face it. We know why you died. We know. Everybody knows. It's obvious. Don't need to have a discussion about that. Couldn't be more painfully clear. Okay, I know I just saw a cattail. Or maybe it was my eyes tricking me. Let me be mindful of the bear. Okay. I guess my eyes were tricking me. There's one over here. I thought I saw a few further towards the edge of the thicket there, but I suppose not. Nice, here's, looks like 3 more. All right, I don't want to lose too much more condition, so let's see if we can reach the cabin. Those of you who have only played story mode might be thinking right now, Hadrian, you don't have the clippers. That's okay. You don't need them. Not on Sandbox. Okay, so I will remind you for the umpteenth, for the umpteen millionth time, wildlife has been reconfigured. So this is one giant blind hill and a narrow gauntlet leading to the Hunter's Lodge, and I genuinely do not know if there's going to be anything trying to stop me from getting to said lodge. But I did hear a howl just now, and it came from somewhere ahead of me. Didn't sound particularly close, but it didn't sound particularly far. One of the reasons that I call this out is that there have never been wolves on this path before. If I were a Hinterland developer, and I were changing the spawns, having played this game and been in this zone a lot, as a player, I would put a wolf on this path. I'm just telling you. Straight up. Like, that's an area where I would put a wolf where one has traditionally not been in the past. I think it's an obvious choice. Come on, let me up. You know you want to. Thank you. Please? There we go. I wanted the high ground. It's over, Anakin. I have it now. Okay, let's go a little bit farther. No wolves on the path. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping to, like, have a moment of clairvoyance there. Where, like, I just prophesied the arrival of a wolf. But it appears the only wolf in the area that I can see so far is out across the lake. It's on the far side of the island there. There it is. Right there. Okay, so I see some sticks. I'm gonna... Alright, I see a bunny by the cabin. That's a good sign. 2 bunnies. My guess is there are at least 2 wolves up here. And maybe a bear. Who knows? I can hear the crows for the bear down at the bottom of the cliff. Or the crows for a bear that's here. But if the bear were right here, there wouldn't be bunnies just hanging around. So I'm not too worried about it. Okay, let's get inside, shall we? Yeah. The crows that I could hear are the crows corresponding to the bear at the bottom of the cliff. I hear some ptarmigan, which... Oh, I think I saw a prop deer, too. Oh, that stick is not interactable. Okay, rude. Yep, there are 2 wolves. Just to point them out. There might be 3. There's that one, and there's that one. And there's a prop deer as well. I'm going to take this opportunity to step inside. Slightly longer episode today.
It's getting kind of heavy.
There's our save point. We'll stop this one here. In the next one, we're going to have a look around this place. I see some flour already. So there's going to be some cooking to be done. There's going to be, looks like some film to be grabbed. That's one thing about the far territory. I'm pretty sure the camera is out there somewhere. I've heard rumblings. Haven't spoiled myself, but I kind of know roughly where to look. Just don't know exactly and don't want to be told. We'll figure it out. But next time, we will finish looking around this place and then probably finish some reading as well, because I do want to travel out to the far territory as light as I possibly can. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along for early episodes, channel emotes, and member badges. Look for the join button. New episodes are going to be dropping at every 1 p.m. Why do I need to just change the way this is worded? New episodes are going to be arriving at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time every other day, everybody, if you didn't know that. And comments are always welcome. Leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.